Hey everyone, Martin's here, and today I'm gonna do a little tutorial on how to install my empty workshop script. A lot of people uh, have a lot of issues installing this script and some of my other scripts based on the way they need to be configured and some other little things that need to be done. And I'm gonna be doing a series of tutorials to show everyone how to install my scripts correctly and prevent to have a lot of tickets asking some simple questions that have like automated ways to reply instantly. Basically, some common issues that people do while installing my scripts. First of all, to install, you gotta buy it. You can access mtscripts.com and purchase the script. Then the script will be added to your master page. So you gotta download the script. I'm gonna download the 2.0. That's the one you gotta download to have the latest version of the script. This one is not updated since 2023. We are already in 2025. So yeah, let's upload this one. After the download, this is like any other script. You gotta copy this. You copy this to your FiveM server resources pages. In this case, I'm gonna put this inside Kiwi Keybox empty folder, and here you can start this. It is also already started. So after this, the first thing you gotta do is access our documentation website. You just type emptyscripts.dev like this, and you'll access our documentations website. In here, you have the empty workshops. It has all the features and pre-configured MLOs, links, and some dependencies. Everything is here. Check the installation page in the empty workshops. And then you gotta do some changes on your QECar folder if you're using QECar. In this case, I'm using Qbox, so I'm not doing these changes. But if you have some trouble doing this, you can open a ticket on my Discord, and I'll be free to help you. If I saw that a lot of people still have issues installing this, I'm gonna do another little video showing how to do this and put on the documentation. So just let me know. This is the same for ESX. The changes are here. But since I'm using Qbox, I'm gonna download this one. This will redirect you into the Google page. Then you download the file. In this case, since I already had the file in here, it will duplicate the file, but yeah. Next thing is the aux inventory items. If you're using QECore, you gotta use these ones instead of the aux ones. But we really advise to use aux inventory. This is the most advanced and secure script on FiveM platform at the moment. So it is free, it's really good. We don't really advise using another inventory script. There is no reason for that since this is perfect. And you have a lot of redesign changes you can do. This is open source, so everyone can use this. Right now, the first change, you gotta go into your inventory items.lua, and here you gotta add the items. In this case, I have these ones. Then items added, make sure everything is correct. Next port, this is for QB so I'm not using these ones. Then you have the aux inventory craft changes. These are little changes we needed to do on the inventory to have the export to create the crafting tables on our script. If you don't want to use this, you can just go on our script config file, and then you can disable the inventory crafting. But since I want to use this, I'm gonna do the changes. First change is on the client.lua, like it is saying here. Make sure to read everything that's here. Here, around 175. What I do mostly is just search for the callback name. In this case, you must have something like this. I'm using the latest version of the inventory, so the changes are a little different, but the lines are the same, just have little changes from the latest updates. Still on the client.lua, you go search for this one and replace with this one. Real simple, is it is just select the code and replace. Then you have the crafting on the modules crafting server.lua. In here you're gonna need to search for this function. It is like the first function you'll see on the file. Then you copy this one and replace the whole function. It will create the export right on here. After this, you gotta do this one change still on the server file. So you search for this, you replace with the second code, like all of it. Sorry, I did a mistake here. So everything is done in these files. Wait, forgot this one. You gotta do the same. Here's the function, search for that, replace. Easy as fuck. So now you have the classes. You can add the classes on our config file or directly in the vehicles.lua file on your core if you're using Keybox or KiwiCore. In this case, I'm gonna use the classes file, and that's what I really advise to do. Since you'll have a better way to configure, and some vehicles have a little issue, that is the vehicle model name is not the same as the spawn name, and we use the model name since the fuck the natives to get the spawn name are not really good to use in this type of situation, since we gotta do some changes. In this case, I'm gonna go into my script folder, the workshops folder. I'm gonna open this with the Visual Studio Code. Really advise to use this. Really easy to work. Then you gotta go into the configs, config.lua. In here you'll configure everything for the scripts. In this case, I have everything configured, but here you gotta do all the changes. Basically, config.framework is the framework you're using. It needs to be Qt Core, Qbox, or ESX. All the changes are here. Make sure to always read the comments on the site here. If you use Qbox, you can delete this, but we really advise to continue using this since some of the features still use this, since Qbox still supports it, but I plan on doing some updates to remove this function for Qbox. On the inventory, we have here all the possible inventories to use. You can also, like it say, you can forgot what I said. We would really advise to use Ox inventory, but if you use any other inventory like Quasar, Codem, any other inventory, you can go here in the functions and callbacks, and you can change the code, but that will be in the end of the video, because I want to make the basic things in the start of the video and then the complex things after that. Here you have the locale. If you change the locales here, you gotta change here to update on the UI. Then you have the inventory images directory. Here you can, like, if you have your inventory, you place this like this, HTML images. But again, I'm using Nox inventory, so I'm not changing this. Then you have the debug. If you want to see the zones correctly and want to have some F8 prints on some missing items, etc., Just enable this while you're configuring the script because it will help a little. Then you have the dead setting I said before. Here you can enable or disable the inventory craft. If you use Ox inventory, I really advise to use this. It is amazing the way it works. So it is just enable. It's true or false if you want to use the script integrated menu. Then you have the performance items. This is like if you remove the performance item from the vehicle, it will return you the performance item. Otherwise, it will give you nothing. For those people who like to just stole the performance parts from vehicles. Then you have the zones duty. This basically every time you enter the zone with the job set, it will toggle your duty to work on the workshop. Then you have the classes. Here you have two options to use the classes or just disable it. If you want to use the classes, just enable this. If you don't want, just disable. You can ignore these two parts since this will not be used. But if you want to use the classes, you have the option to use the shared form QB and you just enable these and set the class on the vehicle like it is on the docks. Then you have, if you don't want to use this, I'm not using, just to show you how you can do the part in the classes that will. Then you have the progress bar times. This you just basically change the milliseconds. And have the repair items. All these items needs to be inside the inventory to work. In this case, these ones. This is the items you need to repair each part of the vehicle. If you want to repair the engine, basically you need metal scrapped, one metal scrapped. And if you don't want to use metal scrapped and want to use another item, you just change here pretty easily. Like I want item, you just change wire. Then you have the preview command. Fuck, my English is shit. Basically here you change the command name. I don't know if you want to use like to other language like private or whatever. And if you want this to be locked to a job, you just set true and it will lock to the workshop job you're using it inside. Otherwise, every player will be able to use. Then you have the toolbox options. If you want to disable some option from the toolbox, you can just go here and set this to false and you'll not be able to repair the engine on the menu. Then you have the next config. This one is pretty simple. Next config is the classes. I'm gonna show this not now. Yeah, not now. Here you have all the cosmetics parts. You can just translate this to your language if you want, or just leave it. This is the default GTA names. And then the mods. If you want to add a new mod, just copy this and follow the example. It is a value mod ID. This is the Oxlib mod ID to redirect into the preview and check if the mods are installed. Then you have the item needed. If you want to use another item, like I don't know, you want to every port have a different item to install, like paints. I want to use a paint spray. You just go here and change the item name to the item you want. Then we have the crafts. Here every single item inside this needs to be on the inventory items as expected. Then you have the default items you use on the script. It is all here. What we really advise is change the needed items to, in this case, the ingredients to craft this item. You just basically change here. I don't know. You have plastic. You need 30 plastic, 30 copper, and 30 metal scrap to craft the engine. You just go change the number and the item name. I don't know. I don't know, like iron instead of plastic. You just change the name here. Then you have the labor entry. This is made to add the custom names to your the custom mods names to your preview menu and everything be labeled correctly. In this case, we have this wheels pack rims pack installed, but you can install any other pack. The labels will be on the locales files in the vehicle files. Then you have the missions. Yeah, I don't need to change anything here. This is the random locations to deliver the vehicles and pick the vehicles. And if you want to add more, you can add. Otherwise, here you have all the vehicles that can be picked and changed. This is really random. And here you have a list of a lot of FM pads, possibly basically all of it. Then you have performance parts. This is really important if you have the classes disabled, but I'm gonna show you in the end of this video. Then you have the shops. Here basically is the items you're selling. You can separate the shops by categories. In this case, I have the category performance and the label is performance. And I have these items in the performance label. It will be separately done by target options. Then you have the stations. This is basically repair stations. You have two types of way to do the stations. You can do with props or you can do with zones. I have here examples on how to do with props and how to do with zones. This is pretty simple to do it. You just copy this if you want to create a new one or just disable out of it. You can enable or disable. You can set the job. If you don't want the job, just set as false. You can make this check if the mechanics are online or not. Then you have the price and the progress, like the time it will take to repair the vehicle. Then here you choose if you want the blip to be enabled or not. Then you choose if you want to use a zone, like it is here, and you set the zone, or a prop, and you can set the prop. Really simple to do. If you have any change, I can also do a little tutorial on this. Something more you gotta do, and really important, is here in the workshops. Here basically you have all the workshops files you gotta use. Every workshop, every file is a new MLEO, in this case a new job, new workshop, whatever you want to call it. In this case I have Auto Shop, LS Customs, Rusty Garage, and Turner Shop. This is the default MLOs that are configured with the script. This is really good MLOs that I really advise to use, especially the key ones. FM Shop are really good too. Really advise to use both. Then I'm gonna do like a tutorial on this one. Imagine you have this, but you want to change the job here. You gotta change the job here and up there. Like I want the job to be mechanic. That is the job I have set on that. Then you set the workshop as mechanic, the job. If you want to change the label, you can change. If you have, for example, any workshop then you don't want to enable that will interfere with any other, like these ones I have disabled, I just have these ones enabled. So you enable or disable here setting by true or false. Then you have the blip. Imagine that you want to do like a illegal workshop and you don't want the blip to be shown on the map. You can just go here and change this to false and the blip will not show on the map. I believe this one, no, sorry. Then you have the points. We really advise to use the zone poly command. I'm gonna do a little tutorial also in the end of this video because I want to make the explanation for this really quick. Then you have the management. Here you change the coordinates for everything with the zone sphere command. Then the garage, basically. I think the names of these explain what this is, and you can change pretty easily. So for now, I believe this is the changes you gotta do. I'm gonna join the server. The script is installed. You can use every feature of the script. I'm gonna do a little tutorial on how to configure a new workshop and do everything with the classes. Right now, I'm gonna start with the classes config. Alright, this is the basic, one of the easiest configs here. So you spawn a vehicle. I don't know. I have here the Sultan. If I do class, it will be A because the class is set. But if I disable, delete the vehicle, and then I do like core vehicle. I do class, and the class is not here, so what I'm gonna do is this is a class A, so then you restart the script and do class. It works perfectly. Really easy to do, really simple. Make sure that all of the vehicles use the same model name as the spawn name. Some don't have that, especially add-on vehicles, so make sure everything is correct in here. If you use any add-on vehicle and you want to use that but don't want to make any change on the vehicle name, just place here the model name. Let's imagine if the spawn name is Lamborghini. I don't know, I'm giving a random name, but the model name is Huracan. You gotta do like the opposite and place the Huracan name instead of the Lamborghini name. They can be different names. So next part is the creation of a new workshop. In this case, I'm gonna create a simple workshop example here in this default GTA MLO. So first thing you gotta do is set the zone. In this case, I'm gonna set the zone from here around the building till there. So it is pretty simple. You do slash zone sphere, no, fuck, zone poly. You do this, you set the first point, all the commands are on the side. There you can see all the updated things. If you want to move, you just click X, you move it to the zone you want to set the next point. In this case, I want to set this here. These don't need to be perfect, but basically, yeah. Then you want to add a new point. You click X again to disable the movement, and then place space. And again, next zone, X. Then I want this to be here, so you place X again and space. If you want to move the point, you can easily move it. So I'm gonna place the second, this case the third. I don't know, like here. It doesn't need to be perfect. Done. So right now I have the zone done pretty easily, pretty nice, simple as fuck, and that's really that. If you want to see the zone better, just click G. Now I have the zone done. I'm gonna press enter, and here you don't need to do anything but confirm. And right now on the Oxlib folder, Oxlib folder, you have the created zones.lua, and in here you have the zone created. So I'm gonna copy all the points and place here, replacing these ones. Let's imagine this is La Mesa, let's custom, so I'll place La Mesa. Now you want to change the blip. For that you gotta use the any script you have to copy the vector tree chords. I'm gonna use the Qvox admin menu, and is just slash vectory, and that's it. After that, Amazons never change the thickness. This is the perfect size for what this is done, so don't change this unless you have a bigger MLO with some more levels and you want to make this to the entire building. Next change is the management menu. I'm gonna place this right up here. I don't know, like this place is perfect. Make sure that all of the zones have a collision. For this one, you just do slash zone sphere, and you have the zone here. All the comments are on the side, so it's just basically right. I'm gonna place this here, so it will be in the same file as the zone in the created zones. So you just copy the vectory chords and the radius, In this case, I'm using 4, and here was 45. So, well, I just got tired, so I cut the video because I don't want this to be a big video, and I just placed the basic some in here. So if you ensure the script, then you're on duty and you can interact with the new places. And that's basically that. Now I'm gonna do a little tutorial on how to change the integrated script. Let's imagine you have a script that you don't want to use in here, like the banking or the key script. You have a different than the pre-configured ones. Well, for the key script, you just go on the client, functions, and then you search for spawn vehicle. And here you have the keys. You just basically change the export here. You can do a one if you want. And then you have the remove keys. If you use some key system with the key as an item like renewed vehicle keys. That's why I have this set here. I had this function recently. This is pretty simple. Anyone with the basic code knowledge will know how to do this, but it's basically just change the simple export like here. So if you want to change the banking script, you go on the server functions, and then you have here the add account money. This is for the registers. Then you go here and change the export plus like the same thing. Like I have the renewed banking. You go on your banking docs, and then you place here the export you use. Make sure to set these variables correctly. What I see most people doing is just they change the name and that's it. You can do that since the export can have a different name. Most of the exports have the add money name. That's why I have like an else here. So if you set the config to your name banking name and it keeps working correctly, that's because your banking export is add money, so you don't need to change anything but just the script name here. I guess for the workshops, that's it. I forgot to install the images, but anyone know how to install the images? If you want to do any locals changes, you just go on the locals file and then you change the locals basically for what you want. In general, that's it. Oh, forgot a little thing, sorry. If you use any other framework other than Qbox or ESX, you can do disable this these imports here because this is not for Qbox. Unless I use Qbox, I'm gonna leave this here. So that's all, guys. Thank you for watching this. Hope this helps you install my script. If you have any questions, just feel free to open tickets. I'm just trying to make everything easier for everyone and explain how everything works. That's why this video is big as fuck. But I'm gonna try the best to cut the video on the useless parts and make everything shorter than it is right now. Like I have the video with 42 minutes at the moment. This is big as fuck. So that's it. I'm gonna do next tutorial for restaurant script and then dealerships. If you have any other suggestions, just leave in the comments or on my Discord. Please don't use the chat on the Discord for support. That's the thing I ask for everyone, but no one does. That's it, really. Thanks, and see you again.